Hey, what's up, everyone? I should be live now. Yeah. Excuse me. Should be live now. Let me do a quick post on Blue Sky, and then I can get started with the stream. Okay. Cool. So yeah, welcome to my very first live stream on this channel. Creature focused live stream, as you can see on the screen right now. So I guess I'll talk a bit about myself first for those of you who are new. Let me just get I'm gonna ask my wife to check in on the stream really quick, just to make sure that everything is sounding okay. One second. Okay. See if she's gonna pop in and double check my stream for me. Anyway, yeah, I'll talk a little bit about myself for maybe anyone who's popping in here who might not know who I am, and a little bit about the stream itself, and then I'll talk about the project that I'm working on right now, that I'm trying to finish up. So yeah, my name is Raul. I'm an illustrator and a concept artist and a 3D sculptor. I've been working in games for about the last it's almost a little over 10 years, almost 15 years. Most of that has been like working on card games, like earlier on, and then later I started doing a lot of paleontology related stuff. Some places you might know me from, my work from at least, is Beast of the Mesozoic. Sorry, my little dog's going. Beast of the Mesozoic for Creative Beast Studio. Where else? I did some stuff for Path of Titans. Did some designs for Kyoto. Lots of dinosaur stuff. I love dinosaurs. So yeah, I love dinos. I love creatures, kaiju, all that sort of stuff. So that's kind of what I wanted to focus on for my stream. Sorry, my wife is asking if she can come grab the dog. My little dog's being disruptive right now. Sorry about that. Thank you. Okay. Just make sure my camera's back to where it was. Sorry about that. Cool. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, I wanted to make this stream mostly focused on creatures because I don't really have, aside from my like aside from my paleo art, I don't really get a chance to do many creatures. So like that's majority of what my personal art has been dedicated to is creature design. Like I have a ton of work that I have been wanting to get done, but I don't know if you guys can relate, but I have a bad habit of like starting one thing and then I jump to something totally different. Like there's a finite amount of time where I can be pretty focused on something, but I'll kind of drift away from it, and then I'll start something new, and then that new thing will become the new focus, and it kind of just I don't know, it gets away from me, and the next thing you know, it's like several years later, and I haven't finished anything. It's just all just like block-in sculpts and sketches, and very basic ideas that haven't really gotten fully started or haven't gotten fully finished. So that's what I wanted to dedicate this period of time every week, just to sit down, spend a couple hours. Maybe, I don't know, it depends. I haven't decided fully how much time I'm going to dedicate. Possibly a couple hours. It might just be an hour. Don't know yet. But as much time as I can on Monday, to try and make some progress on these projects that I've kind of neglected. I feel kind of bad. I don't know if anybody feels the same way, but I kind of feel guilty, I guess. Like these creatures and stuff, they start to get like personalities, and I get kind of attached to them, right? And then when I don't work on them or something like that, I feel kind of bad for them, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm kind of scribbling on this guy right now, but I'll talk about this guy real quick, and then I'll just get started on what I would like to get done for him today. So this guy is a creature design. It's probably one of the oldest creature designs that I have. I don't know if anyone is familiar with CG Hub, when CG Hub was a thing, but I started this, I believe, so I have a old blog about it. That kind of shows you how old it might be. This is my blog spot account. You guys can see that. Yeah, you can see it's 2012 is when I started this. You can see some of the studies that I did for it here. Yeah, you can see CG Hub Design Challenge. Task was to create a creature that could possibly be found on the oceans of Pandora, home of the Na'vi in James Cameron's Avatar. So yeah, this is a creature that was for this creature design challenge. I think at the time, Bryn Matheny. Sorry, I feel like I butchered Bryn's last name all the time. She's one of my favorite creature designers. I actually have an original sketch of hers behind me back there, of a dragon. But she was, I think, the moderator, or she ran the creature design challenge back then. So I was really psyched about the creature design challenge. I participated in a few of them, but honestly, I didn't really finish. I didn't finish a ton of them. I was going to school at the time for part of that, and then I think this guy I was doing a little bit after I graduated. Yeah, so he's fairly old. I need to stop sketching on that. I need to get back to my other sculpties. That's what I'm talking about here. Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought a little bit. So the challenge was to design something that felt like it could be a part of the next installment of Avatar, which was, so this is back in 2012. At the time, there were like rumors, or like maybe it was like a rumor, or maybe it was maybe James Cameron had said something in an interview, like maybe mentioned it like offhand or something, that the second movie was going to be in Pandora's oceans. It was going to be based in the ocean. So, I mean, obviously that's very exciting because we already saw like all the stuff that was happening in the forests and things like that in the first movie. Those designs, I mean, but like, I'm a huge fan of the creature designs in Avatar. I think they're just amazing creature designs, and they're made by some of my favorite creature designers. I think Wayne Barlow did a lot of work on the first Avatar. Neville Page did a lot of work on the first Avatar. Yeah, two of my favorite creature designers right there already. Especially Wayne Barlow. Seeing his sketches for the Ikran and the initial sketches for the Leonopteryx are really cool. You can find those online if you want to check them out. But yeah, those creature designs really inspired me when I saw the first movie. Yeah, they just kind of stuck in my head for a long time. So when I heard about this challenge and then saw the possibility that they were going to go into the water, to the ocean, of course I was really excited. It really sparked a lot of ideas. Keep in mind, like at this time, there was no like concept art or anything in 2012, right? So there was nothing about like anything really. So it's all kind of speculation, right? Like I had to like try and distill the form language and like the inspirations from the existing creatures that were already on Pandora in the forest, and try to adapt them into something that could live in the water and try to make it feel consistent with the world. That was the whole challenge, right? So I think you can see, so this is actually not the original design. This is, I'm in the process of reworking this. This is the original design. Subtly different, like we can compare the two really quick. The anatomy is subtly different because I'm adjusting stuff, so I'll get to it in a second. But this guy is the original. So as you can see, like, I think you can probably see that he's very Ikran coded, I suppose you would say. The Ikran is probably one of my favorite design overall. Followed closely by maybe like the Thanator, but the Ikran is for sure my favorite. So yeah, it's very inspired by the Ikran. The mouth parts, the face, the body is very plesiosaur. So I was definitely, I mean, of course, I'm very marine reptile, dinosaur, pterosaur oriented, I guess. So that's where I'm pulling a lot of this stuff from. Not entirely, but a good chunk of it. There's a good chunk of there's a good bit of shark in there. One of the things that I think I picked up on, maybe it was from an interview or something, like special features from the first movie. Neville Page talking about looking at vehicle designs and like aircraft for some of the shapes in the Ikron. So I was actually looking at a bit of that as well. Some like jets and things like that. And that's where I kind of got the idea for this double fin here. This secondary, like, I guess you could call it like a dorsal fin, pair of dorsal fins here. That's coming from the idea of like this being kind of like a jet. This shape here is also similar idea, like the intake. I thought it was like it's kind of like meant to be an adaptation for breathing on the surface without having to surface completely. So in the films, the Ikron have their nostrils like down here on their chest, but I figured maybe they could move upward to so that way it could just arch its back above the water and then breathe that way. And then these are like little covers that fill up the space to keep water from going in to the nostrils when it's submerged. So I really like that idea, the shape that it's giving here. There's a lot that I really liked about this model, and it's one of the reasons I wanted to come back to it after so long, especially after seeing the third movie. My wife and I just saw the third movie like last weekend, I think. So yeah, it just brought back a memory of this guy, and I just felt like I should finish him. I felt like it would be really cool. I've been itching to do some creature design stuff and actually finish something, so that's what I'm gonna do. So the stuff that I've been adjusting so far, if you compare from the first to the second, so obviously like after we had the first movie, and there was that huge chunk of time, I think it was like 10 years or more between the first and the second film, because the first film came out in like 2009, I think. And then the second film came out in when was it? When did The Way of Water come out? I have to look it up really quick. Avatar Way of Water 2022. So it's like 13 years, if I'm doing my math right. That's kind of crazy. I don't know if I like thinking about that. But yeah, so it's a pretty long period of time, right? Between those two films. And The Way of Water obviously introduces lots of new stuff. So we actually get to see what's in the oceans of Pandora. So there's some new things that I've seen that I've noticed and how they addressed those designs that I would like to incorporate into my guy here, which is what I'm kind of trying to do. I don't want to like mess with the overall body plan too much, or like totally redesign him, because there's a lot that I still like, but there's just some things that I want to kind of play with, kind of retry a little bit, because I was under a lot of really tight time, deadlines when I was working on the first one, and I feel like there could be a little bit more exploration, a little bit more just trying out some different things, and just double checking that what I'm working with is what I want exactly, right? And I'm happy with the placement of things, and I feel like it feels pretty consistent with everything that I've been seeing. There's a few things that I did change. So like, I think I have it saved here. Layers, do I? So I changed the shape of the face. So before it was here. Now this little kind of display thing going on, I kind of pulled from the Thanator because it has those like cheeks that raise and expose the gums. I thought it was a cool idea, but I don't know if it's like, I don't know. I'm interested in figuring out like a reveal of some kind for the face, but I'm not really settled on what I would want for it exactly. So I've been playing around with different face shapes, and this is kind of one that I like so far. I was actually also playing with some different crest shapes. I have a ton of different versions in here. I need to clean up my... Yeah, these were different crest shapes that I was playing with. He's kind of got like a Dilophosaurus thing going on. I tried this bigger crest that goes up into his neck. This type of thing. Which I think is kind of cool. I don't know. I think I'm leaning more towards this like smaller idea here. But still, maybe this could be like brightly colored or something. Maybe it could be a little bit of a reveal. Like maybe this has got like a bone in it or something, and this is like more of a membrane, and it can flip forward to reveal a display structure. I'm not super sure. I'm still kind of working through that. The other thing is just some proportion stuff and some anatomy stuff. So like, I shrunk his head down from the old one. This one was, I think I had already changed his head proportions here. Hold on. Yeah, this is the real old one. See, his head's really big. So I shrunk that head down, which I think feels better. And then the front flippers here, I thought just felt too... I didn't want to change like the function of them. I still want them placed like generally in this area, but I moved them down a little bit, and I just made everything overall just a little bit more neutral, because I plan on like posing it and all that stuff, and if it's all totally posed out already in all these bent shapes, then it's going to be hard to pose. So I wanted to even that out. What else? So I think I'm generally happy with the shapes now. Like you can see, I changed a lot of the fins. And yeah, going back and forth between the two, I think I do like what this is kind of one of the first times that I'm directly comparing the two of them. I feel like this feels much stronger, especially in the torso here, because like I'm imagining that it's propelling itself forward primarily with the front flippers here, right? So this needs to feel pretty powerful. It's basically like flying through the water. So it needs to feel pretty powerful up here. Whereas these little guys are probably just maybe for more like stabilization or like turning. Same thing with these. He's not using these to move forward necessarily. So I do like that. Oh, one cool thing that I've been playing around with is I have been messing around with the way the mouth closes and opens. You hide all this stuff. So this was fun to work on. Hide that. It's a little bit like, I have to probably redo it to get it to function fully, because there's still a bit of design work to do on the face, but I did these, I guess you can call them like blend shapes. They're on layers, but to control, I wanted to see how the mouth would close, because this whole time I've been sculpting on it, the mouth was open, like in this roar pose, and I wasn't actually checking, of course, like I wasn't actually checking that it could close properly, like the overlaps that were happening with all the bone structure and all that stuff. So I needed to do that. So I did this quick little mock-up of all the different structures in here, and did the quick little, I guess you could technically animate this, I suppose, but I just wanted to see how it's cool to see it move, like, as you get a sense of what's actually going on in the skull. This sort of thing here. Right, so that's been helping me a lot. I need to get it back in its original position. But yeah, so it's been helping me place things around and make sure that anatomically they kind of make sense. There's still some stuff I'm not entirely happy with. I want to see if there's like an alternate way to get this to open up and have some kind of reveal that's interesting. I'm not sure if I'm really happy with that aspect of it. And when I talk about like reveal, like a lot of the avatar creatures have some sort of like surprising thing that happens to their anatomy, that kind of like the Thanator, when he gets angry, his lips flip up and it shows his teeth, right? The Titanothere, when it gets angry, it has those like feather things on the top of its head that like flip up and have a crazy display. What else? What other guys have something cool like that? I mean, the Elu in the film have I didn't notice this in the film, because they don't usually show them with their mouths open and stuff. But in the art book, the Elu have this structure on the back, on the underside of their jaw. Basically, it kind of juts backwards, and where their mouth opens, the jaw can flare out, and they have like little like slits underneath. That's pretty cool. So it's kind of subtle, but they do have something. So I'm trying to figure out some kind of thing for him. I don't even know exactly what it is, but I'm trying to figure out something. So yeah, sorry, it's been like a little bit of a long show and tell here and not a lot of working on stuff, but I kind of wanted to explain what the goal was. There's a lot of stuff that are kind of moving around with him that I want to figure out. And I'm going about figuring that out in a few different ways, essentially what I'm getting at. So right now, I think what I'll do, I think I want to do some sketching actually. I have him opened in here in ZBrush, but I think what I actually need to do is I do want to play around with a few alternate fin shapes still. Something about this back fin here. I don't know if I like these little like wispy things that come back. And then the shape of the tail is something that I wanted to play with. There's also a little detail that I thought that I do want to include is these little like sturgeon sort of like I'll show you. I was inspired by sturgeons and tuna, I think. Yo Andy Master, hey, how's it going? Sorry if I didn't see you pop in there for a while. I've been kind of in the zone a little bit talking about what this guy is about. But welcome, thanks for popping in. Let me get my reference sheet up here. Yeah, it was. I was looking at sturgeons. They have these really cool ridges on the back and sides. And then also tuna fish. One thing that I didn't realize about tuna fish, I thought they had like spines or like kind of spikes. I'll show you really quick. Let me see if I can get a good picture. So if you look at tuna fish and you look at their tail, they have these, depends on the species of tuna, but I think I'm looking at a, what is this species? Bluefin tuna. An image. Okay. So you see these little things here? I thought they were like hard, like bony little structures, like spikes basically, or like almost like dorsal spines or something, but they're actually like very tiny little fins. I saw a video, I think it must have been some sort of fisherman or something, because they had the tuna up on a boat, but he was recording the tail, and you can see these little fins moving side to side, so they must help with the helping the tuna turn very quickly. So it's kind of like a combo idea between this and what sturgeons have, which are actually like osteoderms. I think they're technically osteoderms. I don't know. I'd have to double check, but they're bony for sure. They're not like fins like this. So here you go, sturgeon. These ridges down here on the back. I want that sort of thing, but on the sides of the tail here. So I need to play with that idea. I thought that would be really fun to have, because he's so smooth, like overall, right? Maybe I can find a way to incorporate them elsewhere on the body, but I think it would have a nice little touch, you know, just right here, a little bit of a breakup in the silhouette, to get some interest on the tail. But yeah, that is my quick idea there. But I'm gonna switch over to Clip Studio really quick because I want to do some sketching and figuring out some stuff, and then I'll pop back in here and adjust the sculpt some more. So let's see. Got to switch over. So I'm going to probably make a sheet of some kind to show all this stuff. I did render, while I was getting ready for stream, I rendered these out of ZBrush, so I could do a study of them basically. Let me see. I have to composite it together though, is the thing. I didn't save a mask out, so I'm going to have to do some little bit of working around here. It's not as easy to crop or extend the canvas in Clip Studio. There we go. So I'm going to do a quick, I don't know if it's going to be quick, but it's going to be a study of the mouth closed, right? Closed here. But I'm going to get rid of all this like jankiness that's happening because of the mesh not being consistent, continuous. And then I'm going to do a bit of a breakdown on the teeth because I would like just a bit more variation in the tooth shapes. I can show you. We'll go back to the model really quick. The original tooth shapes I'm still fairly happy with, but they're just too repetitive. You can see these teeth. They're pretty complicated. I can't remember what I was inspired by to do this, but I just think that these type of teeth don't need to be everywhere. Like currently I have them like literally like in every little section of the mouth, right? Like they're here up in the front, they're here on the side, they're here up here. I want to simplify that. I want to keep these complex teeth here at the top, at the bottom section of the mouth. The other side teeth and top teeth are going to be still in the same what's it called? Still in the same like shape language. I'm still like curved back and stuff because I want these to unveil themselves, right? Like they when the mouth is closed, it's going to be like the Ecron, right? Like when the mouth is closed, they're flipped backwards, kind of like a snake, and then when the mouth is open, they go forward. But the thing is, they're just too complicated. I want them to be a little bit more simplistic on the side here, like these. I want the complexity to stay here. This was inspired by a whorl tooth shark. This sort of curvy surface here with the single row of teeth in the middle. So I'm going to come back here. So that's kind of what I'm going to mess around with here. See if I can figure something out. Sketch around a little bit. I wish I had the teeth in this render, but they are like misaligned. So they're not here right in the sketch. So I'm going to sketch them in really quick. This is a pretty cool, this is a, what do they call it? NPR. It's an NPR filter for ZBrush. I think it was made by ZBrush Guides, but it's like this blue pencil sketch. I don't like that. It's a blue pencil sketch NPR filter, and it does a pretty good job, especially if you want to like just to do a quick draw overs of models just to test certain ideas on. I don't really like to draw on top of like a render of like a matte cap. I want to kind of unify things because I know I'm going to be sketching, right? So I don't really want to like, I don't want to have to match the fidelity of a 3D render. If I'm just trying ideas out. So I like to do some sort of NPR filter sort of thing on it. So that way it feels more like a sketch, and then I can sketch on top and it doesn't feel super out of place, you know? These are cool ones. This isn't exactly what I have in the sculpt, but it's essentially this. It's just a very curvy, sharp tooth. Yeah, I need to find the because I know I was referencing World Tooth Sharks for sure. But there was other stuff. I think some kind of other shark I was looking at for the shapes of these teeth. So these can retract this way. I need to find a way to explain this, but like they fold forward basically. And then I will have a secondary row here. Like the gum line is somewhere right here. So it's going to be hidden by this piece of this area of the jaw here. So I'm going to see if I can make this a little bit more interesting. So it's not just like a straight line. I want it to be a little bit organic, like kind of curvy. And one cool thing that I like to incorporate, or I want to incorporate, is these little teeth on the actual sides of their mouth. If you look at lots of abyssal fish have this. I'm looking at a viper fish right now. But so they have their main teeth like inside their mouth, of course, but they also have teeth on these bony areas on the outside of their mouths. So I want that here as well. So I'm trying to decide on which pen I'm feeling right now. Granted, the renders that I popped out of ZBrush aren't like the most high res. But I don't really want to go back in there and render more. I don't really know how asking my computer to render stuff in Blender while I'm streaming is going to go. So I'd rather not chance it right now. But these little teeth. I don't know if I want them that big. Smaller. Something like this. And then you can see that I've hinted at it here. But I want some on these teeth as well. I mean these excuse me, on these little bony bits of the jaw here. Maybe they're very like fine. They're not very thick or large. I don't know if I want them all over or maybe there's a bit of like some kind of rhythm to them. One of the other things I wanted to try out was I want to play around with the shape of the eye. So they have, famously, I suppose they have two eyes on each side of their head. One is generally larger than the other. The Ecron, they're very shark-like, I would say, or eagle-like, bird-like, or more eagle-like, bird-like, I would say, than shark. But I don't know. Maybe it'd be cool to try something that's a little bit different. Or we could have kind of a different, we could have the big eye be normal, I guess, quote unquote, and then the secondary eye is, I'm thinking like octopus or like cuttlefish. I should have rendered out a bigger image. That looks kind of cool. Maybe like more like amphibian. Let's see. I'm gonna look up like a cuttlefish or something. I do like the kind of horizontal sort of eye, but it's also, it's got like a W shape to it. It's not a round pupil or like a flattened oval shape. It's not like you would see on a goat or something. We can try it. We'll I want to save that. We'll just erase this. The other thing that I forgot to mention too is like, not only do we have the stuff from Way of Water to like kind of help incorporate into this, but there's the game too. There's a bunch of new creatures in the game that potentially could help out here. I actually had a really good time playing the game. I mean, I love the world, like exploring the world in the game. I thought that was really fun. Like I could spend like hours just like walking around or flying around, just taking a look at everything. I think the environments that were created for that game are probably some of the best environments that I've ever seen in a video game. I would say, like, aside from some of the stuff that I've seen in like Elden Ring, like what really impressed me about Frontiers of Pandora is just like the sense of scale, similar but different to Elden Ring. Like Elden Ring has a crazy sense of scale to it as well, but it really takes it like into the fantasy realm. Of course, like they can get really big with things and really like ethereal feeling, where I think Frontiers of Pandora has to be a little bit more grounded, but at the same time, like there's some very impressive like rock formations, mountains, like the scale of and the sense of like you can definitely feel dwarfed by stuff in the game, which I really enjoyed. Felt like there was a lot to explore. It's just, yeah, I would agree with a lot of critiques about the story and like some of the game mechanics, although I hear some good things about the expansion of like corresponding to Fire and Ash. I think I would like to try and check that out at some points, because I hear that the story in that is actually pretty good. But yeah, there's a few new creatures in there that I thought were really cool. The storm glider is really cool. They had these like I don't know if I should be talking. Maybe it's like, maybe I should give like spoiler warnings if I'm talking about creatures that are appearing later in the game that people haven't gotten to yet. But yeah, I'll just say that a lot of them are really fun. So I would definitely, if you're gonna play it, I would definitely take the time to just kind of explore and observe. Like that was one of the funnest things for me, is just like kind of sitting around and watching some of the animals. Some of them don't really let you do that because they're aggressive or they're very skittish. But when I could, I would just kind of sit and watch a little bit. I do that in Monster Hunter too, because the animations are so good. Like the idle, like, I don't know if you can call them idle, but the sort of ambient animations that the monsters do when they're not being hunted, when they're not being aggressive, they're really well done, and they exhibit some really cool behaviors. Like they'll groom themselves, or like they'll mark their territory or something, or they'll actually hunt stuff. So I always liked watching that sort of thing. And there was a bit of downtime. World and Wilds did a really good job of doing that. So I did take a quick screenshot of my teeth in here, and I'm just blocking some of them in. I'll probably comp in an actual, because like I said, I'm not gonna change these teeth on this central tooth row here. Okay, I like that. I mean, I wish it could extend a little bit more. Like that. And then for this top row, maybe these are more like, I want these to be probably more simplistic, maybe a little bit more viper-like. You're not gonna have all the fancy like ridges and stuff that the bottom row does. I need to figure out like what this guy eats too. That's one thing I've been kind of contemplating, is like what is he going after exactly? Like what is the niche of this guy in the biome, right? I'm not quite sure yet. Do I like that? Do I like... I'm gonna see if I can increase the resolution here really quick. Try and scale it up by 2 so I have a little bit more to work with. Another thing that I was maybe considering too is maybe the jaw could extend outward somewhat. Like you see that happen to sharks, where especially like an extreme case would be like a goblin shark, where you can see the jaw kind of pop out and move forward. I'm not sure if that would be interesting. I can try it. See if I like it. The other thing the thing about this guy, something that I'm pulling from like viper fish and all that stuff, is that there's a few different hinges on the head. It's not just the mouth that's opening, like the jaw hinge here. There's actually going to be, there's a hinge here that allows this top part of the head to move higher, right? There's also going to be this portion of I guess you could call it like, it's like the snout, right? But I think certain birds have something called a rostrum, I think, so like parrots. But it's a separate bone, and it's articulated, so this can actually go up and down too. So this here is actually a hinge, so this can move up and down, this front bit. In addition to, there's a hinge here, obviously, and then these project forward. So it's a very complex little setup there, right? For better or for worse. I don't know if maybe I don't need to make it that complex, but I think it looks cool. Then I gotta add the tongue. I need to get rid of this arrow. Maybe I put like little notations and stuff on it later, but right now I don't need little arrows everywhere. tongue there. We'll attach. I'm gonna attach this little section here because, of course, we're not gonna have this gap. Okay. This area here, when this folds upward, this will get compressed. So I need to add like some sort of suggestion of like maybe like some wrinkles or something that happen here. Because of that movement that's going on. Just kind of criticizing what I just did. Let's see if I like it or not. I'm wondering if I should include these little, because the Ecron have them, and so does the Toruk. He has these like vents, little shapes here. And it does look cool. But I don't know how much of that I want to integrate into this guy, like how much I want to pull from any given species. So this needs to feel integrated, because it's not like a free floating thing. It's got like kind of stretchy skin that gets pulled there. This is like a lower, this area here is like a lower crest to kind of complement what's going on up here on the head. This area, I don't know if they need like a little, some sort of sensory input thing. Because I don't think they would be necessarily like the nostrils. It could be, like maybe there's some sort of olfactory sort of sense here. And this, so they do have nostrils back here, but that would be just more for like air intake, like gas exchange. So yeah, I think I like that so far. The elu, not the elu, what are they called? The elu are the other creatures. I'm talking about the this structure here that lets them communicate with a rider, basically. The kuru. I need to smooth out the shape of it. But I think I don't know. I don't think there's anything I want to adjust about this. Maybe a little bit like a ridge-like detail here. I'm just cleaning up the shape because it kind of gets a little lumpy. I need to do that better in ZBrush anyway. I'm going to have to probably redo that whole shape there because it's just gotten knocked around too much. And the nice, like smooth cylindrical shape of it is kind of gotten lost. So I have to redo that whole part anyway. But while I'm in here, I'll clean it up a little bit. This doesn't need to be bent like that. Okay. One thing I did want to try was, I think the elu have like air vents. Let me check. I think they have like air vents on their neck. But I don't know if that necessarily makes sense with the way I have the anatomy of this guy working. kind of wish I had an like a PDF version of this book, so I could just have it on my screen, but yeah, it's cool to see like all the different stuff that they tried for the Elu too. They definitely went to, so kind of looking back on this, looking back on my design as it was in 2012, and then looking at like what they actually had in the movie, I was kind of, there is some kind of like convergent ideas, right? Like I think I was kind of proud of the fact that I at least got the plesiosaur influence in there. They definitely went more kind of more dolphin plesiosaur mixed with like there's a little bit of bird-like qualities to the Elu, especially some of the concept art heads that they have here. They're very bird-like. But I think what I was looking for is, yeah, the Elu have little, they have a series of like 4 holes on the sides of their neck. I don't know if that's in the final design. This thing's cool too, the Akula. That is a very cool design. I am very jealous of whoever came up with that split jaw idea. That was a very cool looking head on that guy. But okay, I got my answer. So they do have like nostrils, I guess, on the side of their neck. I don't know if I should try that because it might not make sense anatomically. Like I already have the breathing nostrils on the back here, which are more like a whale, like blowhole sort of thing. So to put like these, or it could maybe be like a intake sort of and then exhale sort of thing. I don't know. It could be a cool detail to add here on the side of the neck. Yeah, there's some cool stuff that I could do with maybe like some eel anatomy and these sorts of little structures here. I don't really know what to call them. I'll have to find some sort of good terminology for this. And then we'll do like a little anatomical breakdown or something. That might be cool. Just to kind of explain the overall body plan and stuff like that. I always like Clip Studio Paint because it has this tool here that's like, it's like liquefy in Photoshop, but you don't gotta go into the liquefy menu or whatever it is. I always like this much nicer. Much better, I mean. I'm still kind of going back and forth about these little vent fin things here. I think what would help me, I just need to maybe do some studies on how fish open and close their mouths. Maybe there's a good diagram or something out there that can explain it to me. So I think once I know how that works, I can kind of manipulate it more. But I'm not as familiar. Just looking at a bunch of reference right now. Okay. try to separate those forms a little bit so they read. Another thing that I'm considering is this area here. Is like, do I want, this is like, I think it's a detail. I mean, I've always had it in my concept, but I'm not sure if it's necessary. This like secondary fin on the chin here. I think it looks cool, but I'm not sure like functionally if I really agree that it's necessary there. I need to remember to isolate this stuff so that way I'm not merging different versions. Okay, let's paint this out really quick and see how it looks. Do I like that? Maybe. I'll say this. What am I going to call this? The thing is like you have species like the tulkun who do have, they tend to have like 6 limb, configuration. They have these like tendrils coming out from the bottom of their jaws, but no kuru like on the exterior. And then you have other species like I guess like the skimwing. I don't know. I'm just trying to decide like find consistencies and like see if what I can incorporate here and what feels consistent and what doesn't feel consistent, like where I'm pulling it from. I'm trying to like build it with some sort of logic to like sort of ancestry, like what they are more closely related to, sort of thing, so you can kind of build a little bit of a lineage. I feel like that would help it feel the most like grounded in the world that is Pandora, I suppose. Okay. There's some stuff that I can transfer over now. Maybe we'll save this out as like, this is like a version. What is this? These are like little notes. Maybe I'll save those. This is a version. I need to work on the closed mouth one to make it consistent with the bottom. But then this one will leave with the fin here. I think I want to change the shape of the fin though. Maybe also like the origin point of it. This one, it comes out of like directly out of the articulation point of the jaw. Maybe I can shift it a little bit so it's not so, I don't know. Maybe it feels a little bit awkward there to me. Okay. We'll try. We'll try. Well, here, this is probably a better, more efficient way to do this. We'll start with no fin, because I already painted it out there. And then we'll play around with a different position, different shape on this one. Oh, Stormfire looks really freaking cool. Reminds me of Ekron and Avatar. Thank you. Yeah, it's supposed to be like part of Pandora, it's supposed to fit inside that world, right? So it's cool that it reminds you of the Ekron. It's definitely, I'm trying to make it feel as integrated into that world as possible. The Ekron is my favorite design from Avatar, I think. I can show you the body of it. So he's like a kind of plesiosaur-ish, combined with like a shark maybe. He's got some stuff going on in the mouth too, some pretty gnarly looking teeth that I'm trying to figure out the design of right now. Yeah, there's definitely some fish in there. He's got that kind of jaw motion that the Ekron and fish have, which is pretty fun. Just trying to iron out some of the details of like this whole the mouth and the head are like the most complex part. And once I feel like I get that down, I think I can move forward with it. But thank you, yeah. Thanks a lot. I don't know if I like the fin placement there. I think maybe I was okay just leaving it as it was. Like this. I don't know, it's hard to say. I think I'm going... you know, that's a good question about the skin texture. I'm not quite sure. I have been looking at a lot at sharks. I've been looking at great whites a lot, because they have like some interesting like scars and stuff sometimes on them that I want to incorporate just to add a little bit of imperfection to the body. So I'm probably gonna go more shark, but not like not like super scaly. Not like not like scaly the way like a carp would be or something like that. Definitely more smooth. I will have one thing that I was going to do is so on the tail here though, I want to do some like sturgeon. I don't know what you would call them. I gotta learn sturgeon anatomy a little bit better, I suppose. Like osteoderms or like little ridges. So they would have these little just to give it a little bit of something going on down there, I feel like it would be a nice detail. Thinking about it, most of Pandora creatures don't have scale patterns. Yeah, it's very seldom, right? Like, I think looking at the concept art for a lot of the video game Pandora stuff, they do start to incorporate some, but that's like land creatures. Some of them have like shells and like little scaly arms and stuff like that. They're a little bit more reptile. Oh, Toothless, like from How to Train Your Dragon. Yeah, that like sort of pebbly kind of texture. Yeah, I need to do a pass on the top-down view too. Just to make sure that I'm kind of just double checking myself, right? Like just to make sure that I really like what I'm going at, because it's an older design that I had going. It's not, I didn't really have like a ton of time to dial it in when I was working on it, many years ago. So I want to just kind of double check that I like what I actually did, and I am trying out all the alternatives that I want to try. And then I'll just dial in everything. Like I want to try a few different tail shapes. And then these like little tiny tendrils here are kind of, not sure if I want to leave them or if I want to exaggerate them or shift them around, Oh, the osteoderms are out. Right. I need to redo my creatures. I have so many that I want to visit. So hopefully that's what this whole stream is supposed to be about, is just like revisiting all of those, and then hopefully after I get through them I'll have some new ones. I'm always coming up with new stuff. I have a whole, like in the last week, I had some ideas for some new creatures. I just haven't started. Probably that's like the thing about it, right? It's like I always want to start something new, but I never finish what I started. Male could have different tail shapes. That's a good idea, yeah. Male and female, like some sexual dimorphism would be cool. I feel like these different studies will probably be pretty fast. I like the pectoral fin shape. I think just these guys. Right. Like this past weekend I was just I was working on some commission stuff, and I had this I think I was searching ArtStation, just like browsing because I like to do that, and just some extra inspiration every now and then, and I saw this, I think it was like a magic card or something, of a spider dragon. I had no idea. A spider dragon, I guess they're like a D&D creature. I like D&D, but I don't know like everything about their creature. Does like what official D&D has in their creature guide or whatever it is. But apparently they have spider dragons, and it sounded really cool, and I really wanted to design a spider dragon. So I may or may not have started some sketches on a spider dragon, even though I have like 30 designs that I should be trying to finish. how could anyone butcher my favorite mythical animal? You're a big fan of dragons. Yeah, it's a definitely like a weird combo, right? But I think there's some interesting potential in there. But I'll try to be disciplined and hold on to the idea, and I'll probably start designing it on stream at some point. As long as it ain't scary, I'll be fine. I think for the most part it'll be, I think what I want to do with it is mostly like reptile. It's just like playing around with limb arrangements, maybe like multiple eyes, but I say like more like 70% dragon and maybe like 30% spider, mostly the legs. Kind of like this shape. That shape looks cool to me. I'll try a couple more and see where it lands. I think I like this shape because it's more like a spear shape. more than this oval shape that I had. Try another one. Oh my, wait, hear me out. Butterfly that's a good idea too. Yeah. I like that. I like color. Yeah, moth would be cool too. That's a good idea. What do I want to do with this tail? Yeah, that's gonna be a fun one. Okay, I think that's a good shape too. Yeah, I have a lot of fun designing water creatures. Like I really love playing with all their fin shapes because it's on. I mean, you can do it like infinitely. Like there's really no limit to how strange you can get, or like I really like fun like aerodynamic, hydrodynamic shapes. They can be really like graceful looking and like very pleasing to the eye, I think. Like one of the reasons I really like the designs of the Ikran and the Toruk are they like feel like very cool and powerful and kind of dangerous, but they're also very like graceful at the same time. They have that really nice balance of those characteristics. I think I can speak right now. I could do something like a little flourish here. I don't know if I like that. I feel like it's better to kind of drag the trailing edge than it is to do it on the leading edge. English doesn't exist at this point. I still try to have good English. Sometimes it fails me. When you talk to your clients and you don't know what you're saying. I mean, I have those moments too, especially like if I'm kind of nervous about the clients. I swear I've had moments where I kind of like black out or something. Like I'm conscious and I'm talking to them, but I have no idea what I said. Thankfully, it hasn't caused me to lose any clients. I probably just rambled about some sort of dinosaur stuff or some kind of creature gibberish and anatomy stuff. Alrighty. I actually think misread names, accidentally called people guys. Yeah, I relate. Okay. I actually think I'm gonna call it there for tonight because I've been on for a couple hours. And that was kind of my goal for the first one here. I feel like 2 hours is like a pretty decent amount of time. There's only so many hours I can talk before my voice completely dies anyway, so but yeah, I think I actually got somewhere, which is good. And yeah, thanks for being here, those of you that popped in. I'm gonna be going live again on Monday. For now, it's just gonna be like once a week. I think that's what I can commit to at the moment. So yeah, I'm gonna pop on next week. So if you want to join in, it would be great to see you see y'all there again. Yeah, I'll see you around. Thanks so much. Have a good night.